questions?
Well, we're really excited about going to the Belk Bowl, our first trip here at the University of South Carolina, but certainly familiar with the Bank of America Stadium, one of the finest venues in the National Football League. It opened up last year against NC State, and a great football game with them, and opened up 2019 season with the University of North Carolina. So one of our best alumni bases there in Charlotte. We do a lot of recruiting in that area, and certainly in the state of North Carolina, and been able to attract some really good football players here to South Carolina in our short time. A lot on the line for us. 8 wins would be the only 15th time in school history, and back-to-back 8 or more wins for only the 7th time in school history. So we've got a lot on the line versus Virginia. Bronco Mendenhall, I don't know personally, but I've got a lot of respect for him and the job he did at BYU, and certainly how he's turned around the Virginia program. So I'll open it up for any questions.
We'll get a microphone to you, David.
Will, have you guys already set the schedule about when the kids will go home for the holidays and then come back?
No, we just found out about 30 minutes ago where we were going and who we were playing. So,
And just, I assume, do you guys have to be there, or can you practice here and go back and forth? What would you prefer to do?
no, we'll be there when they want us there. As far as the report date is concerned, obviously we'll have 6 or 7 practices here before we go.
You mentioned not knowing Bronco personally, but just what have you seen from Virginia, and I guess any limited film that you've been able to watch?
I have not watched one thing of film yet. No, I just found out about 30 minutes ago. But we certainly will have all the film in tonight. And Joe Lyle and I have already talked about that. We'll have everything in and start breaking it down. I'll have my laptop with me, so we'll start watching it tonight.
Mike in the back.
Well, of course, you have your focus on winning the game, but how nice is it to be able to play a game so close so that fans can make it practically a home game?
Well, our fan base is phenomenal, and I appreciate them, and I know they'll travel, and it's really important to us, and obviously for future bowl games, bowl sites want to see you travel, and our guys travel. We had a great crowd in Tampa last year, and certainly looking forward to another great crowd at Bank of America in Charlotte.
What sort of is that process of getting film on a team that you don't play all that often? Like, how do you guys?
Well, I think most of the video coordinators sort of know each other. It's kind of a fraternity there, so to speak, and so they know each other. And they, Joe already came walking in today and had it narrowed down the different teams we might play, and said, "I know this guy, I'll call this guy," and then you swap the entire season as far as the film is concerned.
And Javon posted on Twitter today that he's coming back. Just your reaction to that? And
Yeah, we had a talk this morning, and he felt like that would be the best for him.
Have you had that talk with anybody else in terms of juniors?
I have not. I've had a couple guys on the phone today, but nothing past that.
Do you expect everybody to play in the bowl game, even your seniors, your bowl? Debo last night wasn't sure. I don't know if he understood the question or if he just wasn't sure what his plans were.
Right.
Do you expect all those guys?
I haven't talked to anybody that's given me any indication to this point, and we'll see. We'll visit that when the appropriate time.
That has become a little bit more
Yeah.
of a trend. Have you had to address? I can't remember. Have you had to address that with any of your guys? And what's your general stance on
It's
it?
never come up.
What would your response be?
I'm going to support the student athlete.
Just going back to Javon, just what does he bring to the defensive line, I guess, next year with you guys returning Ricky and JJ and kind of a core nucleus of guys?
A veteran player, so to speak, a guy that really has transformed his body, coming from 2 years ago, or I guess a year ago, from 340 now to where he is. And, I think the things we talked about, just being more consistent, pad level, continuing to build girth and strength. And the things that he knows. But the guy's a worker. He's going to work. He's going to develop himself to what he wants to, what he wants to be.
Will, you said that you have a lot on the line. What role does a bowl win do as far as creating that momentum for your program, both during the off-season recruiting, spring practice?
Well, certainly, I would start in recruiting just from a standpoint of that's the here and now. As far as when you come off the early signing period, you're 2 weeks later you're in a bowl game, you're on national TV. And you're out on the road within the next 10 days seeing, prospective student athletes, evaluating underclassmen. And so, I think that's a huge part of it. I think it also helps in the off-season program. When you're going into your off-season program and the guys understand and coming off a win gives you a little bit more confidence in your program about where you are. But again, the 2018 team will close its book in Charlotte there, and when we get back to work, we'll be on the 2019 football team.
Way in the back, Joe.
Coach,
I'm curious. First, did you see any of the SEC championship game?
Yes, I did.
I know you've said the goal is to get to Atlanta. Now that the regular season is over, you kind of seen what your program has done to this point. Do you feel like the gap is closing, or how far are you away from getting to Atlanta now?
Well, we're 7-5 right now, and we talked a little bit in terms of that last night. That's not where we want to be, and certainly we've got to improve to get to that point.
Based on what you have seen in their rehab thus far with Bryson Allen Williams and DJ Muschamp, how much practice can you get out of them, and are you fully expecting them to be able to play in the bowl game?
Bryson, 100%. He's doing extremely well. He ran in the he'll be running on the Ultra G this week, so he's going to be fine. I'm not so certain about DJ, but got a chance with Aaron Sterling. Jalen Dickerson, J.C. Horn will definitely be back. I feel that's off the top of my head right now. I've got a lot going on today, so that's all I know.
You've had to play a lot of freshmen this year. How would you evaluate the performance of the class overall?
I think it's outstanding. I mean, you look at offensively, Dylan Wanham coming in and starting at right tackle in some of the venues he played extremely well. Josh Vann has been a guy that's been a real pleasant surprise for us, especially coming off shoulder surgery from January a year ago and being really shut down through the spring and not being really cleared to do much of anything until about July. Says a lot about his progress, his intelligence. Deshaun Fenwick is a young guy that's really come along for us, and given his opportunities, I think we think he's done very well. Levante Valentine has been a little bit injured, but a guy when he's had opportunities on the field has done some nice things for us. Hank Manos has gotten a lot stronger in the weight room, has made tremendous strides as far as those things are concerned. And when we're just in practice setting, has done some really nice things for us, and a guy that we've been really pleased with in his progress. Defensively, R.J. Roderick's a guy that really has been forced into action, but played really well and has improved. The game is slowing down for him. He's a very intelligent player, and is a guy that's going to continue to progress the right way. I go back on offense to Kerryon Joyner's a guy that in his opportunities have done some really nice things for us. His command is continuing to improve where we want to be. To go back to defense, Ricky Sanders, Josh Belk, and J.J. and Barry, both J.J. played a fantastic game Saturday. Really got a lot of pressure on the quarterback. The first third down rush was outstanding. But those three guys are SEC defensive linemen, and probably were put into more action than they needed to this year. But on the front end of it, it was tough. But we're going to certainly benefit from it as we continue to move forward. Ernest Jones and Rosendo Lewis, both are SEC linebackers. Both guys are heavy-handed, smart, good communicators, guys that we're excited about moving forward. Israel started at safety, shows the intelligence. Keyshawn gets banged up. He goes to corner and defended extremely well. We go to Clemson, and he goes up against Higgins, a really good receiver, and defended well. So really excited about him as well. I'm just off the top of my head, RJ, we talked about. Jonathan Gibson's done some nice things. So we really think we've hit on a lot of really good players in this class.
You touched on it a little bit. There's obviously going to be some trial and error with the new rule, like the redshirt rule. Are you pretty pleased with how y'all handled everybody, or is there any guy that you think I probably should have done this a little bit differently? I'll learn from this going into next year.
I don't think so, John. I think the decision we've got to make is on Ernest Jones in the bowl game. He's played 4. That's something we need to sit down with him. And it was great. Jabari Ellis got in and played a significant snap Saturday. He's played in 3, so we've still got him for the bowl game. So I think we've pretty much managed it pretty well as far as those guys are concerned, and guys that won't need the year back, and guys that we felt like we needed to play.
Way in the back, Greg.
Coach, you've had 2 pretty exciting bowl games the last 2 years. One's gone your way, one has gone the other. Have you noticed a difference coming off the win compared to coming off the loss in Birmingham, how the team approached the offseason? What did they do in their approach to the bowl games that led to success in the areas that you guys were able to find success in those games?
Well, again, I think that, you're always concerned, number one, from a ball security standpoint when you go into a bowl game because you haven't been tackled in a while. Special teams are always a concern, and tackling are always a concern. So those are things we'll obviously work on as we prepare for this game. But when you win the bowl game, it just makes everybody feel better about what's going on, where the program's headed. Obviously, as I addressed earlier about recruiting, you get a bunch of bowl gear, and if you lose a game, you damn sure don't want to wear any of it. I didn't put anything on from the Birmingham Bowl, I can tell you that. So, so it helps your wardrobe a little bit when you win. But again, the 2018 season will be complete when we finish that game, and when we get back, we'll be starting on the 2019 season.
Two-part question. The first one is sort of what do you hope to kind of accomplish from the first batch of practices? And usually this time of year we talk about kind of you guys working in more of the young guys. Is it a little different because you've played so many young guys this season? I don't know that there are that many freshmen that haven't had some kind of game action.
I think on the defensive ball, you're correct. But, again, everybody needs development. Everybody can improve. Everybody's got things that we need to work on. Identify those positionally on each side of the ball, the things that we need to improve on, and we'll do that. I think self-scouting and being honest with yourself about where you are and what you need to improve. And we have a lot, especially on the defensive side of the ball. So we'll address those in bowl camp and bowl practice, and training camp-like practices to start bowl preparation. And then we'll start working on our opponent.
Is Levante Valentine going to run track?
Yeah, that's the plan. That's the plan right now. Again, that whole deal's contingent on doing well academically, and to my knowledge, so far he's done extremely well this semester.
And from what you've been able to see on the field, you think back to that speed that he showed during the recruiting process?
Yeah, he's got another gear. He does a nice job. He's got good vision, but he's shown another gear when he runs the football. I think he's got a bright future.
JT eBay.
Mm-hmm.
Will he be ready for the bowl game?
We're kind of looking at that as a possible 6-year, but I don't want to comment, too much on that right now. He's had a hard time coming off this PCL right now.
So you could potentially get both JT and Nick back next year?
Potentially.
Is that their desire?
They would like that, I think, and that's why probably, I don't know that we'll get him back for the bowl game.
You have a trip to the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Do you have a favorite NASCAR driver?
Nah, I'm not big NASCAR, and I'm sure I disappoint a lot of people around here.
Never been to a race or no kind
Will you get in the car to do the driving experience?
I did that at Darlington. Kerry Tharp put me in a car. I think that's a one-time thing for me.
Did the playoff committee get it right?
I personally felt like that Georgia's one of the 4 best teams in the country. I don't think there's any question about that. I felt that way when we played them. They're a really good football team, and certainly their performance against Alabama, to me, they should have gotten in the playoff. But past that, I don't have any comment.
Anything else for Coach?
Thank you.